Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Steven Universe, which we'll once again be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I am joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
Justin Cummings.
Hello.
And John McKenna.
Hi, everybody.
Today, Delaney, Justin, John, and I are getting into episode 4 of the November 10th Steven Bomb, Back to the Kindergarten. We are recapping on November 10th, the entire November 10th Steven Bomb here at the Overly Animated Podcast. Find us at overlyanimated.com or search for Overly Animated Steven Universe on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher to subscribe to us there, or on YouTube to not miss any of our Steven Bomb coverage podcasts. We've already done a podcast on 1 and 2, and then we had 3 as a separate one, and now we're talking Back to the Kindergarten as a separate podcast as well. So make sure you've seen all of those 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this bomb, up to and including Back to Kindergarten. Spoilers for those episodes. But let's get into this episode, specifically Back to the Kindergarten. Delaney, what are your overall impressions of this one?
I mean, I liked the episode. Thought it was cute. It's always nice to have Peridot. I enjoyed that Amethyst is just like, let's go. I'm sure Justin enjoyed it because Amethyst is in this episode, supposedly. But, you know, they pick Peridot up and just drag her out of the bathroom. I also enjoyed that they kind of touched on the logistics of Peridot living in the bathroom and how this impacts Steven. Like the line where he was like, of the 3 things I now have to do in the sink, this is the one I don't mind you saying, which that was pretty funny. Overall, I don't know if I'm really like that impressed with the episode. Like, I enjoyed it. Again, I'm just like, what are we doing? What's the point? Like, it was cute. I feel bad for Peridot. Lapis is gone. I guess I'm just not in the mood for all this cutesy nonsense. The sunflowers were cute. I did like the idea of trying to grow something. Of course, it ended up being a monster. But that's a pretty typical gag. Like, I wasn't like too impressed with that. I did like Amethyst, you know, talking about all the Amethyst she got to meet and how cool that was. I guess it's okay. It was a good Peridot episode. Like, it was fine.
Yeah. Delaney, not in the mood for cutesy nonsense. What have we been talking about with Star all weekend? Miraculous Ladybug as well.
I know, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just, at this point, I'm just tired. Like, I'm over it.
Too much at once.
Too much.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, Justin, thoughts on Back to the Kindergarten?
I'm done with the sad, Dylan. I don't want more sad, and this episode was sad. And yeah, there was happy eventually, but more sad, and Peridot sad, and I don't want Peridot sad. But I like Amadot, and Amadot makes me happy, and she was listening to country music, and I'd like to think of Peridot as listening to country music. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So feeling the Amadot and not feeling the sad, basically.
No more sad.
I guess I didn't realize originally how it is kind of a sad first 4 episodes to this bomb. That's definitely true.
This is not the day I wanted this, and it's just been nothing but sadness all day.
Yeah, I guess we got a happy ending though here.
The Steven Bomb should be called Sad.
That's a bad name. Can we workshop that? A happy ending to the episode, correct?
Sad, yes.
Yeah, okay. John, what are your thoughts on Back to the Kindergarten?
I have to give a lot of credit for Shelby Rabara for playing sad, restrained, and muted as well as she did. That was just a great piece of voice acting work by her as Peridot. I actually really like this episode. It's good to see Peridot dealing with Lapis being gone. She's obviously very torn up about it, and it's visually, I like the visuals on her. And it's going to be tough for her to work it out. You try to patch it up by trying to make something grow in the kindergarten. And while the giant mutant turnip thing was a bit of a distraction / excuse to see Smoky Quartz again, I think it had a good, satisfying ending where, you know, they all got together and they realized that they got together. They looked out and things are still not ideal. But it's good that there's reason to keep looking on the bright side.
Yeah. I think I liked Back to the Kindergarten. I think it's one of the better episodes of this bomb. I think it's much like last episode though. You could see how it could have been better. Like there's more potential here with this grouping, with the Amadot episode. Like Too Far is one of my favorite episodes of the show. And, I don't think we're getting anything close to that here, but, I think it's a necessary thing to see Peridot's reactions to, to Lapis leaving, and I think everything with Peridot was good. The ending was pretty great. I think like the last scene with them on the train was probably the best scene of the bomb so far, I would say. And I think we got some great Peridot quotes and just great moments between her, Amethyst, and Steven. Yeah, and I like seeing Smoky Quartz. I like the storyboarding in the beginning and subsequently with the Steven's routine in the morning. So yeah, it's just a well put together episode. I thought it was good. It's not what we're looking for at this point. Like we want bigger, we want stand out, and it's not that, but it still is very good. So it's an enjoyable episode. I think the headline here is Peridot's reactions to Lapis being gone, and she's very upset, and she's staying in the bathroom and won't come out until the end when we're doing metaphors with growing things, and maybe she'll be all right now. Delaney, what do you think of the presentation of Peridot being broken up over Lapis leaving, and where do you think we are after this episode with her?
Well, it makes sense that she's so dramatic. Like, it's Peridot. Like, of course, she's like, she's acting like what she sees on TV, like Camp Pining Hearts. Like, that's why she's being ridiculous. So I mean, it made sense. Like, Peridot's super dramatic, and she's in love with Lapis, so she's upset. So it makes sense. So I was okay with all of it. Like, it was funny. I, unlike John, did not enjoy the animation of her face in the first 2 minutes of the episode.
You didn't like meme Peridot?
No, I did not like meme Peridot. It was atrocious. Oh, before I forget, best part of the episode, which is one of Delaney's favorite things ever, is making fun of character designs. And Steven cleaning his ears was a quality moment of making fun of his character design. Just wanted to point that out, because that's one of my favorite things, and it was awesome.
Wait, how's that making fun of his design?
Because he doesn't have ears. Like, he has ears, but he doesn't have ear holes. So like, he was just like wiping it. It's super funny.
Oh, okay.
Like, I love that.
Yeah,
That's my favorite gag.
They weren't going in there at all. Yeah, I didn't notice that before, that they have no ear holes, but
he was just rubbing. It was so funny. That's what I'm about. Like, Steven Universe doesn't do it as much as some of the other shows we watch, but it's really funny.
I thought he was just getting the stuff underneath, like the top part of his ear flap. I don't know what that part is called, so
we're not getting into the mechanics of ear cleaning.
No,
yeah, continue.
That's what I do.
But I just like, I think Peridot was, I think relatable, and like, it was funny. It's Peridot. She's being super dramatic, and it was kind of funny. Like, she was kind of going back to like the before Peridot. She's being really moody and rude. She's being a jerk, like Amethyst called her. Right now, I don't know if we made a lot of progress with Peridot. I mean, she's out of the bathroom. I guess that's the only thing, which is good. Yeah. She might be more willing to like hang out with everybody and kind of try a little bit more to like, kind of, she's like, I gotta get over it, I guess. Like, she's gotta take care of her crops, like she cares about her crops. That's the other thing. It's like Peridot has crops, and she cares about them, which is like absurd. But it's great. So I don't know if we really made a lot of progress. I think that's what's killing me in this bottom is like, well, are we doing anything? It just feels like our wheels are spinning, and it's frustrating me.
Yeah, these aren't plot movement episodes. These aren't lore episodes. And if you're looking from the show right now, then this bomb's going to be a disappointment. Like, that, it's just not what we're getting.
But at the same time, it's actually kind of a necessary bomb to have, because it's the fallout from the events of Wanted in the 2 episodes before that. So you do kind of need this sequence.
Right. It definitely makes sense that we just had one of the lore arcs in the show with Wanted, and this is the Wanted fallout. Unfortunately, it's been like half a year for our time since then, because Cartoon Network scheduled the longest hiatus ever between these. But if they were airing back to back, then this would just be a nice cool down. Not what it's turning out to be, though. Yeah, John, what do you think of the where we end up with Peridot at the end of this episode?
I don't mind it. It's I wish I kind of, it is a bit, I feel sorry for her in a way, because you had this nice life going in the barn, you've got Lapis, you've got Pumpkin, and then one whiff of the diamonds possibly coming to Earth, Lapis literally takes their home and flies away. leaving Peridot with a pumpkin and no place to go. That's a massively traumatic thing to be left with, your child. They didn't even negotiate the visitation rights for Pumpkin. I mean, come on, Lapis. I mean, seriously, won't somebody think of the pumpkin?
Yeah, definitely got to think of the pumpkin.
It's hard. I mean, they built a great life. It's just gone in a second. Why wouldn't she be like level 10 depressed and trying to fill it in? But it's about she has to, come to grips with her feelings, and for her, it is difficult. So I do like what they did with the character. It's not the last thing. At least I hope it's not the last thing. But it's a good sort of first step.
Yeah. It does seem like a first step of Peridot getting over Lapis, which maybe makes it seem like this is a long-term arc of Lapis being gone. That's kind of the impression I'm getting from this episode. Justin, what do you think of sad Peridot here?
Sad Peridot is sad. No, I like the meme face. First off, I like the meme face Peridot. But I really enjoyed all of Peridot in this episode. I think specifically my favorite moment was towards the end. Can I go back? I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because that was just like the best line, because that's like her sad place. And she lives there, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's just a good episode. Good Peridot episode.
Yeah. It's not clear at the end how much we progressed. They seem happy at the end. They're hugging. But it definitely seems like a first step for Peridot. But let's talk Amethyst and Peridot, because
yes,
I wasn't even a second after I said that before Justin said yes. But you'd think this. I don't know if it ended up being that much of an Amidot episode, but
I don't care. I want it. It's mine. It's my baby. It's my Amidot. You can't take it away. I have an Amidot poster.
There's a poster of it?
I didn't know that. Justin, when's the last time you've mentioned Amidot? I mean, I guess there hasn't been a lot of Steven Universe to talk about.
Okay, look, because, it's been A, the longest hiatus ever. B, we have not seen Amethyst and Peridot in the same room since I don't even remember when. And C, every time I bring up Amidot, all the Lapidot people push me back down. And finally, now the Lapis is gone. I love you, Lapis. You were my first love, but you're gone. Be free, my little blue angel. My Amidot can rise back up from where it was, hiding beneath the surface, and take bloom in full sight of everyone, and Amidot forever. I'm back.
Okay, ignore. Getting past the craziness of that speech. What's the? How romantic do you think? I think any of this was romantic, Justin?
On Peridot's side, probably not. We didn't get a lot of good, Peridot pining for Amethyst because she's sad. She misses Lapis.
Yeah,
but Amethyst cares, and whether it's romantic or not, this episode kind of hard to tell. But you know what? Amethyst cares. She doesn't care about a lot of people, but she cares here. And man, it just gave me the warm fuzzies.
Yeah, Amethyst definitely cares about Peridot in this episode. Yeah, it's. I think it's very clear. I think it's been very clear for a while, and Amethyst just genuinely wants to help Peridot out here. And it was.
You know what's great that we need to point out about Amethyst in this episode?
What?
Amethyst does not like Lapis. We've seen this over and over again, but she didn't really insult Lapis that much in this episode, because I think she knew that would not be what Peridot needed right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she was willing to kind of put that down and put that away and focus on what Peridot needed, I was like, that was really mature of Amethyst. So,
yeah, and it was also she also did it in a very Amethyst way. Like, think about like the 2 episodes before when they were dealing with Steven trying to get over his turbulent relationship with Connie at the moment. They were giving Steven a lot of space to letting him work it out himself. Amethyst just comes in the bathroom saying, "We're getting fresh air. You're coming with me. Don't take your music. Let's go to the kindergarten." Like, it's aggressive, but at the same time, it's coming from a real place of caring. So, and which is very Amethyst. It's like very direct, very to the point, which is great.
Yeah, she was. Amethyst was like, "Get in, loser. We're going shopping." That's what's
and Peridot really needed that kind of like shock treatment too. If you
definitely seemed like it from the mopiness in the beginning of the episode. Delaney, how much, if any, were you feeling the romantic vibes between Amethyst and Peridot in here?
I wasn't really feeling like the romantic vibes. I don't ship it. It's okay. I mean, I do think like what is important is like how mature Amethyst, like Amethyst is like, we had her arc, and I'm really happy with her character right now, and she's being a really great friend. And like the thing is, they all care about each other. That's all that matters. This whole show, everyone just loves each other, and it's great, and it's cute, and it's adorable. And that's what I think that's really great. Like, and that's the core of the show is like all of this love between all these different characters, and that you really showed it here, especially like considering like how Amethyst and Peridot's relationship started off, because Peridot's a jerk, and now Amethyst is really trying to reach out to Peridot, make her feel better. So that I really liked it. Like, I just thought it was like sweet, and it was really cute.
Yeah, definitely Amethyst really sweeter, caring. Isn't it a possibility though, now that Lapis is off the show, that we explore Amadot? Like, Delaney, do you think that's at all a thing that could happen?
I mean, I think definitely. I mean, I'm just not sure what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I would hope. I mean, I want Garnet and Peridot to hang out because that's funny to me, and that's like hilarious. But I mean, hopefully we're going to have Peridot moments with all of the gems, though I definitely think, if Amethyst and Peridot are going to hang out and be bros, and Peridot is a very clingy character. She's going to pick somebody and become their backpack, and that's what Peridot's going to do. She's going to like, hello, I'm here, I'm Peridot. And I think I could see her like picking Amethyst to be like her new bud. So, I mean, there's a chance, honestly. I don't see why not. And I could definitely kind of see it being kind of almost an obsessive way, like, Peridot's like, oh, you're nice to me now. Like, it's like you feed a puppy, and then the puppy's like, hello. That's Peridot. So I definitely could see that happening. I mean, there's no reason why it couldn't.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is the type of thing Peridot would do. John, what do you think of that? Peridot latching on to Amethyst.
Of all the characters she could latch on to, Amethyst is probably the most likely, because before Lapis, we knew that Peridot had a thing for Amethyst from almost the moment she set up in the barn. So I like the backpack analogy too. It's definitely gonna work. I mean, Peridot's probably gonna live in the temple now from now on, it seems, because where else is she going to live? So I could. Is she
gonna get a room?
Yeah,
please.
It might just be the bathroom. I mean, they had a system before she moved to the barn. They did have a system. Just she stepped out when Steven needed to step in. But so it could definitely still work. But yeah, I think the Peridot Amethyst Steven dynamic is probably one for the long term.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting thing to track. Yeah, Justin, what do you think of that? We're maybe on board with this Amadot.
I'm so happy, and to be able to say this and talk about Amadot surrounded by my friends, just really, this is why I became a podcaster, so that I could sit here and talk about my beautiful purple-green space babies.
That is not. I don't think they were. You were here before Amadot was a thing. Is that true? I don't know. We'll have to check.
No. I came in.
Okay. Anyway,
right after.
I'm glad that we're supporting.
No, I came in right after Steven's birthday. So no, I was. Okay. Amadot existed before I got here.
I'm glad we're supporting your Amadot perspective on this, but yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see. Oh yeah, it's something Delaney brought up. Garnet and Peridot. We still haven't seen Peridot fuse. So yeah, is that going to be a thing?
Please,
with Garnet?
Amethyst.
Please, no, I want it to be Garnet.
It has to be Amethyst.
Yeah, reminiscent of the log date scene with Garnet.
I want that.
Yeah, that's got to be high up on the list now if Peridot's back with them. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how Peridot plays into any new dynamics here in the temple. I want to talk about this last scene. As I mentioned, I think we have a lot of great Peridot quotes when they're on the train going home. I think the foremost quote of the episode is from Peridot. I was pretty much using this as a distraction from losing Lapis, losing the barn, and just a general sense of complete hopelessness that I tend to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Yeah, it's a most relatable quote, Peridot. Good job with that one.
Peridot is the internet.
Yeah. Exactly.
Peridot's Twitter. That's what Peridot's character is. She just is Twitter.
It's kind of true, yeah. Yeah, I mean, as someone as cheery as Peridot is now, it's especially kind of jarring and distinctive to hear her say the general sense of hopelessness that she deals with, but also, yeah, very relatable. So,
and also, if you think about it, this episode did one thing great. It's you really see from this episode Peridot's entire arc in retrospect from the beginning. And remember when another great quote was when she was in the kindergarten, life doesn't begin here, life ends here. I thought that was just really deep. And it ties back to this quote too, because She saw everything as the technician, the set up the kindergarten, send them on their way. But that's been filled in by her experiences in the barn with the sunshine. She had the bees, the breeze, all the stuff that she learned from being in Earth and being with Lapis, and it all being gone. It's a really good way of representing, like, what do I have now? Because everything I once knew is just totally destroyed because of the life experiences that I had. It's a real, almost sort of crushing identity crisis in a way.
Yeah. It's a tough arc for Peridot here. Tough seeing her like this without Lapis.
Even when the turnip sprung out of the ground, she didn't start screaming and running away. She's just like, of course this is going to happen. I'm going to get eaten because that's just the way my life is going right now. Whatever. It's like accepting it.
Yeah. And now I'm feeling the Justin too much sadness with let's let the Peridot be happy again. Let's get there.
I like it. You need a little sadness in a kid's show. We can't be all about.
You need a little sadness in a kid's show?
Yeah, it can't be all sunshine, lollipops, and Camp Pining Hearts reruns.
But actually, could we just watch Camp Pining Heart reruns? But yeah.
Well, they clearly were.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, more good quotes from the last scene there. We have Peridot. Once you mess something up, it's ruined for good, and nothing else will ever be able to grow again. And Amethyst says, "Yeah, we got the subtext." That's a addition to the soundboard if we bring that back. Yeah, we got the subtext from Amethyst. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for that line to get jumps on a little bit more though, because it's like, I think, relatable to Steven, but he just kind of looks at her and I'm like, okay. So hopefully we'll get more.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of throwaway lines in this episode. And it's like, are we not going to talk about this?
Yeah. There's just a lot of quotables packed in, and they don't really get into any of them. It's a good point that it relates to Steven. A lot of what's happening to Peridot is as a parallel to Steven with Connie, and we just don't really comment on that here. Yeah. What do you think of that, Justin?
Yeah, I think I was waiting for them to talk more about the parallel, because we saw it at the end of Raising the Barn. We saw the kind of parallel in that situation, but here they kind of ignored the whole Stephen Connie thing entirely, which is a little weird that we went from Stephen being so concerned about it to like, even though we're in the exact same situation and very comparable, I'm just not going to talk about it and not relate or not give empathy. I'm just going to be like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot going on already, but I think that could have been good to get into Steven's emotions here as well. Maybe it would have distracted from getting into Peridot, though. So
even just an "I feel you" with a forlorn look.
I feel you. Okay, yeah, that would have enhanced the subtext. Yeah, and the thing with the subtext line, it's funny. Also, though, not generally not a fan of making fun of your own narrative within the episode, like your own kind of flimsy subtext within there. So, but it was fine. We another line is the dirt that dirt doesn't care how green your thumb is. And Steven, green thumb, yeah, because you're green. I know that, says Peridot.
Yeah, I like that. I know that.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, Peridot has an awareness that she's green. I guess this is a necessary joke to make if we're doing a Peridot gardening episode.
How did it take this long to make this joke?
Yeah, true. There have been gardeners for a while.
Is that what this bomb is? It's just all these jokes that we should have made ages ago.
Yeah, we talked about that last podcast. Yeah, definitely. Onions. How did we not make that joke until now? And Peridot green thumb. She's been a gardener for a while, or she's been a farmer. So you'd think that we would have done that. And then another great Peridot quote. They say, "Do you want to grow something somewhere else?" And she's like, "Fine. I've got literally nothing else to do."
That was good. I like that. That was also a really good line read.
Yeah.
So Peridot becomes Johnny Appleseed, is what they're getting at.
Yeah,
just touring the world, planting every seed imaginable.
I guess, like, what is this gonna? Yeah, what arc is this gonna be? Are we gonna actually see Peridot doing?
We go back to like the house, and there's just like somehow like on the mountain and on the beach, there's just like all these plants, like they're just everywhere.
Yeah, just Peridot inconveniently planting things everywhere. That'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know how much this is gonna play into anything, but it's an interesting.
Peridot gets her own room, and you go into the room, and it's just plants everywhere.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, she gets she's in like Rose's room or something, and it's like she grows everything in there. I don't know, something with that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I was feeling the plot movement with the whole planting stuff, but it was handled well, I think, in the scene. And then they hug at the end, and it's great. So happy for now, I think, at the end of the episode.
Content, I think, is a good word.
Yeah, content at least. Yeah, we mentioned Smoky Quartz briefly. Not a lot of action for Smoky Quartz, but it was cool seeing her again, and
they're like comfortable with each other. They're like, yeah, let's handle this together. Like, I really liked that. That was nice.
And I like the sort of Mario music that played when she gets introduced. The wink, the star, and everything.
Yeah,
Felt real,
the Smoky Quartz theme. Yeah,
definitely. Vibe.
Yeah. And Steven and Amethyst still remain comfortable enough to just like fuse like that. Smoky Quartz bubbles, the gem here. Have we seen Smoky Quartz do that before?
I don't think
so. We've seen Amethyst and we've seen Steven. We have not seen Smoky.
Okay.
And we've seen Peridot.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know if I'd seen a fusion bubble, so that's why I brought that up. And yeah, I think that fight was fine, right? It was anytime we can bring in Smoky Quartz, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was a quick fight. You knew it was just a quick 20-second thing, but
something I didn't super connect to in this episode is like why Amethyst wants to go to her old kindergarten, and like this whole thing of her I want to see it now that I know what the new Amethyst, now that I met the new. I like Amethyst bringing up the other Amethyst. But I didn't necessarily connect to like why that means she wants to go back to her old kindergarten. But I don't.
Well, now she knows who lived there. It's she was even bouncing around the holes to say, oh wow, this is where 8XJL was, XJL was,
right.
Where 8XK was. Maybe for her, it's like now she can look at the kindergarten not as a place of, where I was abandoned, but more this is where my family is from, and have that sort of manufactured nostalgic spiritual connection that just didn't exist before.
Seemed weirdly earnest, I think, from Amethyst.
It did. Well, now she knows her family. It's like, and she knows they're just really cool people to hang out with, obviously. And so now she feels a bit more comfortable there, where initially it was just, it was a place of awful and sadness.
Right. Yeah. I think this is done to demonstrate that Amethyst is like a good place after meeting the other Amethyst now. Like that, like Amethyst is like pretty happy and this new element to her life. And just, I think it's important to see how she is reacting to things now that she's had this big moment for her. So I enjoy that. Justin, any comments on Amethyst in this episode apart from Peridot?
It's nice to see her happy. It's nice to see her not seeing the kindergarten as a sign of her failure or a sign of like the old way she used to look at herself. It's nice to see her like take joy in being in the kindergarten.
Yeah, it definitely distinctive from how she was acting before from it. Yeah,
even with Peridot's remarks, it's like now all the amethysts are gone. I'm still here. Well, all the well-made amethysts are gone. That's not better.
Yeah. She took that pretty in stride, I think. So that was nice to see.
It also still shows that no matter how depressed Peridot could be, there's still classic Peridot.
Yeah, still classic.
It's like she didn't know it was going to be she still has that trouble of knowing what's offensive and what isn't.
Right. Yeah, she can only have grown so much, and also the another good line from Peridot in the beginning of this episode when they're trying to cheer her up. You can make us feel dumb by telling us stuff we don't know. I miss that from Peridot. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, still classic Peridot kind of shining through, despite the meme face in the beginning. Also, yeah,
I mean. If Peridot can't get satisfaction out of correcting people when they're wrong, I mean, then things are bad.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. This whole episode very reminiscent of On the Run with the train and stuff like that. So definitely a good throwback there. We can do final comments. Anything else from the episode, Delaney?
Well, I think what the real strength of this episode is just Amethyst and like how she interacts with everybody and like just how much she's matured as a character. I mean, Peridot's always a treat, but I think that's the real strength of this episode. I think I might like this episode better than episode 2. I'm not sure yet. Again, I'll have to do a rewatch. Like, I'm just not feeling the bomb right now, which is sad. I'm hoping the last 2 episodes will make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but potentially the best episode of the bomb for Delaney. Nice. Yeah, Justin, any final thoughts here?
No, I've said my bit. Everyone knows Amadot. Woo.
Okay, more Amadot getting it in there. Yeah, John, final thoughts.
Won't somebody think of the pumpkin? I'm still mad Lapis just left Pumpkin behind without saying goodbye. I mean, Pumpkin deserves to have 2 parents in her life.
Yeah, it's a travesty. Maybe Amethyst is the adoptive pumpkin parent.
Or Garnet. Garnet is just sitting there with Pumpkin.
Oh yeah, Garnet would latch on the pumpkin. Yeah, that would be a Garnet thing.
But eventually, Pumpkin's gonna want to know where Blue Mom is, and you're gonna have to have that conversation with her.
Do you? Is Pumpkin smart enough to actually get this? I'm not sure.
Eventually, you could probably pop in the Sesame Street tape about divorce, but still,
I feel like you're acting like Pumpkin's gonna get smarter eventually. Like, is this? I don't know. Is this a human? Like, this is.
I feel bad for Pumpkin. Okay.
Okay. I think back to Kindergarten, good episode. Definitely with Delaney in that. Underwhelmed by the bomb, but this is a good episode. Episode 2 is good as well, and some great quotes in here. So I enjoyed that. Yeah, we're looking forward to the last 2 episodes of the bomb. Sadie Killer and Kevin Party. So we'll be covering those in one podcast coming up. Find that at overlyanimated.com. Search for Overly Animated Steven Universe. Subscribe to not miss any of our Steven Bomb podcasts and future Steven Universe podcasts. And get in on the discussion at Discord. We're already talking about this in a Steven Universe channel at overlyanimated.com/Discord. And consider supporting us via Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks as always to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Rachel, aka Rachel Rose. And thanks always to our Patreon executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, Alex, and Andy. So yeah, back with more Steven Universe and a million other podcasts. So make sure you don't miss any of that at overlyanimated.com. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
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 Take care.